Inkproducts.com has now released a new series of ink tank systems for the Epson Expression Home XP 320, 420, and 424. Now it's a brand new printer in a box. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to set it up with the ink system, show you how to do it. Now, I only paid $39 for this printer. You can go as high as $49. You can get one of our new ink systems for around $89 or less. So you can have a complete printing package for less than $150. You don't have to go out and spend $300–400. Now this printer does wireless, has a lot of features to it. So that's why I'm showing this printer. The 420 is just a different model with a little bit more features, but this is their basic. This is their $40 printer. So now after I unbox it, I'll have it set up here on the bench, and I'll show you how to install the ink tank system. Now we make it with pigment ink, which is the way the Durbright ink is, it's pigmented. Or we make it with the economical dye base. Or we make it with sublimation ink for people who do sublimation printing. Now on this system, the chip will reset all the colors at one time, and there's no need to take them out to refill them. Now I just took it out of the box. I'll be setting it up. Here's the Epson cartridges. These are called the starter cartridges. They have very little ink in them, and they're quite expensive. They cost more. If I went and bought another set, it costs more than the printer. But this printer has a small, a lot of people like it. We finally could get an aftermarket product for it. So now you can use it economically. And I'll get ready to set it all up here. Now I'm not going to put the Epson cartridge in here. It's recommended that you do. But I'm going to go right from the printer, put in the ink tank system, because I just want to see what's going to happen. See if it's going to catch me. Because a lot of times you have to put in the cartridges that come with the printer so it initializes. But I'm going to skip that step in this video just to try this. Just to see. Because quite honestly, I've never tried it. Get it out of the box. I plugged it in. Let me turn it on now. Okay, I got to set it up. It's saying English. I'll say okay. And it's going to go into preparing. It's very simple to put the ink system on this printer, or the XP 320, 420, or 424. And now with the CISS Smart Chip, it'll reset the ink levels. Now it's telling me to install the cartridges. So that's what I'm going to do next. Press the start, which is this green button here, or blue. It's going to move over. When it comes over, it's telling me right now its ink cartridges are installed incorrectly. Okay to proceed. That's what it's saying. Now when it gets over, I'm going to go set up the ink tank, and we're going to put those cartridges in. A safety catch, you don't have to use it. You do not have to use it. But basically, it's two parts. One sticks here, and then you peel it, stick it here, and stick the other one on the machine. But I'm going to show you how to do it. You want to put it together first. That's the way it's going to come. Then when it's all together, then what I do is I peel and I stick it, and then I'll stick it to the printer. But before that, I want to point out, when you first get the system, you've got to rock it. You've got to rock it. All I'm doing now when I rock it like this, make sure the plugs are not out when you do it, otherwise you spill ink all over. Okay, I'm taking all the ink that got in the isobaric chamber during shipping. Now once I do that, then I can put the little safety catch on. It goes right in next to the printer right here. It makes it easy so nobody can knock it over, and it just protects it. On the ink tank, and it always faces down because one end is closed in right there. So you want to make sure you put it on right, or you have to take it all apart. And this is a two-sided 3M or adhesive tape. Sit there for a minute. I always clean the surface with alcohol. Same thing on the printer. I always clean it with alcohol. It takes off of any of the mold release oils that are left on the printer. And this way when I stand it up, I can put it right next to the printer. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm not going to do it till we're almost complete with our install. Okay, now I've got the system cartridges. I'm going to snap them in. First I got to put them in. Now sometimes you have to do this a couple times because when you're first putting it in, if you don't hear 4 clicks, you're going to get on the screen, cannot recognize the cartridges. You'll get that over and over again if you don't get it in. So I have not unplugged the printer. Now normally I tell you to unplug the printer because we got to do hose travel. So I'm going to put it in first before I do hose travel. I'll show you what I mean. It takes a lot to push them in. You're not going to damage the printer, and sometimes I'll push on the tabs, especially over here where the reset button is. Be very careful. This area right here, when you're pushing it in, doesn't always lock in. But I've got it in now. Got it in now. Now I'm going to go over and press start to see what happens. Remember, I have not put the Epson cartridges in, so I have no idea what's going to happen. Push start. It's going to check the cartridges. Now I'm holding the hose. Now I get ink cartridges are not recognized. So I'm going to hit proceed. Let it come back out again. I'm going to take them back up and put them back in, and then I'm going to press the button. Now remember, we didn't put those Epson cartridges in, so I might have to go back and put them in first so the printer recognizes them. Cartridges, because I could not recognize. But before we go any further, I got to point this out. When we first turned it on, we got to make sure, and when you put the cartridges in, that the little plugs are out of the isobaric chambers. Only take the little plugs out. The only time they go in is when you're filling the ink bottles. So you got to take them out because it's going to go into a power charge because I didn't put the Epson cartridges in. So now it's going to go into a power charge. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to hold this. I'm pretty sure I got it snapped in pretty good right now. I'll press the start. And I'm going to hold the hose and see what happens. Now remember, I didn't put any cartridges in. So now it says checking the cartridge. See how quick that went back and forth? That's why I'm holding it. I'm only doing this to show you this in the video. And then we'll do hose travel and all the rest. Now it's charging. That's a good thing. That's just like if you put the Epsons in. So I didn't have to put the Epson cartridges in, so I could put those on the side and keep them. Just in case there was an issue come up, you could put them in and see if that would solve your problem, or it's a printer problem, or it's an ink system problem. So that's why you don't want to use those up. Because otherwise you'll have to go out and buy a set and spend $60, $70. So I installed the ink tank system. I'm holding the hose right now because we got to finish installing the hose bracket that's going to go right here. I showed it in another video, the XP 420 that I did. But I wanted to do this one from unboxing to setting it up. So it's going to take up to 2 minutes to charge up. Charging. Says I can copy now. Now we got to set up and do hose travel. Now here is the hose bracket. It goes on. I took a printer apart so you can See, when it's in a printer like this, it's going to come right out here. Now, tipping it upside so you can see how it goes in. It goes on an angle, has a two-sided tape that holds that hose bracket. So this way you can get a visual. Because you have to put it in upside down. So I just wanted you to see this. So now, let's go over to the printer. So if I were to peel and stick it, it would go all the way up like that. But what I do is I go in on a slight angle so it doesn't stick right away. Then I push it flat up like that. And that holds it. And then we can do hose travel. So, difficult, this is probably the most difficult for some people because you got to push it in till it stops. What I'm doing here, let me bring this up here again. See what happens, I'm stopping. When I slide it in the printer, it's stopping right there. I mean, I'm not sliding it all the way this far, so you can see. So now, after I put it in a couple of times, I get the idea, then I can peel and stick it. It's a two-sided 3M foam tape. It's going to hold it very securely, just like that. This way the lid can close. You can use all the functions of the printer. And once you put it on, you very rarely have to take the hose and move it or do anything like that. After trying it a few times without the tape off, I understood how to do it a little bit better. That's why I did this video, so you can see it. And then you'll feel comfortable doing this. Because I rate this as probably the most difficult part of the install, only because you're doing it upside down. It's got two-sided tape. And so I just want you to see this. That's why I took a printer apart and showed you what, like the finished product, how it would look. Okay, now we can put the clips on. After we get the hose there, I'm going to clip the hose right on with these clips. You're going to get two. You'll get one for here and one for the back. And this way, it'll come straight out. You know, like I said, somebody said, well, why don't you just put it on the top? Well, you could, but then you can't shut the lid right. And we want it to be like I said, a clean install. In there and snap it in. You got to make sure you snap it in so it holds the hose down there. Okay, now I've got it in. I've got the hose bracket in, the main hose bracket. The hose clips are in. I come across. I run it on a slight angle because I don't want the hose to go in there. I come down and I have another hose bracket right there. Now, this is a prototype model, but when you get it, the hose is going to come down. It's going to go into our double loop hose bracket and then go into the ink tank. And then you'll be able to peel and stick the safety catch to the printer. Now, you cannot lift or carry the printer with the ink tank and the safety catch stuck on the printer. You got to take it off and put it somewhere else or hold it some other way. These catchers are not designed to hang the ink tank off of. So you can't hang it off the wall or hang it off the side of the desk. It's just to be put right next to the printer. So then the lid comes down, it makes a nice, neat package. And then you can just open it up, fill it up, or you can unlatch it, bring it around up front here, and fill it, whatever is more convenient for you. Okay, now I got to go to copy. I'm going to go down till I go to setup. Say OK. I'm going to go down. I'm going to go up one time. I want to look at the ink level. Ink levels look good. Okay, let's go back. Go down again. Maintenance. Nozzle check. Okay, now let's do a nozzle check. Say OK to proceed and press that. Now let's see what happens. Here it comes. Perfect nozzle check. And the hose comes straight off. You don't want it to sag here. Comes off, that's hose travel. So you don't have to really unplug the machine. I didn't on this video because I wanted to show you every possible problem that you could come across. I didn't think you need to unplug it because once it goes over here and you hold the hose, then that's pretty taut, see? That's what you want. Straight across, come on out to the bracket. I just did the nozzle check, came out perfect. I laid that color sheet. Now I'm not going to set it. I like to set it for best most of the time because I find it uses less ink, believe it or not, because otherwise the printer keeps cleaning and cleaning. So I'm going to just say okay. I'm just going to do the general printing because it's set on plain paper standard. Now I can lift the lid temporarily just to show you how nice that moves back and forth. Now it's going to come out. So less than $150 you can have an awesome little printer. There it is. First copy out. Now this is our Ultra Pro True Color American made pigment ink. Awesome. Just awesome. Take out the original. Look at it. That's just set on standard. So if you want an inexpensive way to print, you can get one of these XP 320s and then buy our ink tank system. Now these are built in the USA and we use American made ink. So if you want more information on more systems, go to inkproducts.com.